Hello, my name is Carine. I am a student at Indiana University and I would like to show critique and the reason why I would like to take quality matter certificate. Great. So here is critique and there is basically a few courses. So the way it works is the professor create a course with their email. It is anonymous because we want to respect the fair part and identity of professors. And then they can invite TAs and collaborator or a few other professors. And this is where I want to use quality matter, where some collaborator can come here and then we'll be able to edit and provide comment to in the platform directly. And the way it works is we have a creation stage, evaluation stage, and feedback stage. During the creation stage, the student will submit their assignment. During the evaluation stage, the student will need to provide a formative and summative assessment here in order to evaluate the creation. And lastly, the feedback, which is the creator who come back at the end of the process to rate the quality of the evaluation. So this is based on the teach principle. In my class with Dr. G, I created the teach model, and in critic we applied this teach model. So in this article is about improving student success and teaching effectiveness through the teach model, and you can see here the rubrics. The goal is to have students to give quality feedback. And what does that mean, quality? It means to give feedback on time, which is explicit with some example, and which is appropriate for the level of the student, and need to consider different type of materials using, which is unbiased. The platform is anonymous and they need to use sensitive language to respect everyone, and it has to be helpful in order to provide meaningful and positive experience for the learner in order to improve their future performance. You can read this article, I'll share that with you. And then basically the overall goal is to have a student here learning collaboratively at the center, which is personalized competency-based assessment. And the role of the educator is to provide the competency that they need to acquire, and there is a learning objective and a learning outcome. So the professor set the learning objective, and then they need to acquire the competency before the end of the class start finished. And then the institution at the outer is in favor of the competency-based model. And then we at Critic we are learning doing that, and then you can see more about the rubrics that we are using and the value that professor will change the role and responsibilities, and they will focus on metrics that improve student success and teaching effectiveness, such as providing quality feedback to enhance the critical thinking skills to their students. So here, this part is very important because I would like to focus on improving student success and teaching effectiveness. This is why I would like to pass a certificate of Quality Matter. So I talked to the board of director of Quality Matter, and they told me to reach out to you in order to get the certificate and maybe having a discount with you. She talked about Quality Matter liaison, if you know. And so basically what happened is like when we create a course, there's different activities. So during the creation stage, there is like activity details. As you can see, each activity has a weight. There's an instruction that needs to be provided. There's a rubrics. We can extend the full rubrics and see different levels. And if there is only 2 levels, it becomes pass and fail. And then there is like the student who are part of this class. The creation is here. and then there is no grade at the moment because they are still in the creation stage. However, the professor can still read and then provide comment on the creation to give some tips if the student is off. Then, by doing that, the student can just learn by receiving feedback from the professor and potentially improve the creation before the grade, or the TA can provide that. And then when the evaluation stage is there, so evaluation stage, so now if I click here, there is the creation, all creation has been done, all evaluation has been done. So now there is a score, which is a weighted average, meaning that this student had a lot of stars, a grading power, meaning that the grading power represents the critical thinking skills of the student. 6 star out of 6 is like the student is thinking the same way as a professor, such as this one. But this one has a little bit less, meaning that the grade given by this person will be a little bit less than the one who has a high critical thinking skills. In order to be fair to everyone. And then we did a calculation from the mode versus the weighted average, it's exactly the same score if you round up. Great. So this person did this creation and received 4 evaluation. And then we can just go from one. And then there is no feedback yet because the feedback has not started. And then the person gave also feedback. And then you can see what kind of evaluation she gave. And at any time, anywhere, the professor can comment for the student or spotlight evaluation or spotlight everything. Meaning that the spotlight is provided to everyone. So if I select that one, here is a comment from the professor. And we recommend that the comment from the professor follow the principle of the teach model in order to be efficient. So we here. And then you can have a preview. And this is how it looks like. So the comment from the professor will be there. And then the written evaluation will be here. And then the creation will be there. Of course, this is a demo course. So this is not the real content. Great. And now, lastly, the final stage, which is feedback. So this one. Oh, now the feedback stage is done. So now we have access to the feedback. So this person, anonymous, with 4 stars, received this evaluation 1. And how that this person felt, we can say motivational and ineffective. Because this is not a very good written evaluation. It needs to be a little bit more critical to help the student to learn better. And the same thing happened here. The student gave an evaluation, and now this is how the feedback was perceived. Great. Nice. And you can see all the feedback at once here. And lastly, this is very important, is the grading stage. But now the student is over. The student do not have any work to do. But if there is a dispute from the student, and this is where the professor can resolve dispute, edit the score, change the score, because this is a grading period. So now the professor will go, if it's a group activity, it will be grouped like that. If it's not a group activity, everyone will be at the level of the group 1, like that. So then you can see from student 1 to student 2, and then the professor, if the professor disagree, then he can change. And by changing the score, then there will be a micro reevaluation calibration for the grading power. So the further, if the student grade 1 star instead of 3, then the student will be penalized for not being fair according to the gold standard of the professor. Perfect. And then when the grading period is finished, let me see, there is a dispute here. The professor need to resolve dispute. So let's go to the dispute. Issues, there's one here. Perfect. So here is a view of non-group. There's one dispute. So I click here, manage dispute, and I will be able to see the dispute. Okay, this what is the reason? I thought that I deserve a higher score because my content was relevant and included multiple sources. Now, as a professor, I can reject or accept. So I explain and I click resolve dispute, and then I will edit the score and I will change because the dispute was approved. Okay, this is the way of doing it. So now, why I want to take quality matter, I wanted to give you an introduction about how credit works, because what I want to plan now with quality matter is I want to help professor designing high quality courses. So when they design a critic activity, right now they can pick individual activity or group activity. Between group activity, meaning that one person submit a creation for a group of five, and then the other group will submit one. So the group A and group B will evaluate each other's during the evaluation stage. They will have interaction between groups, but within group there is no interaction. So group A, all of them will submit one creation and then they will evaluate each other's. Group B, they will submit everything each other's and then they will evaluate each other's. So this is different way of doing big, and then this one is a prior knowledge. So before starting a class, we can create select an activity, and then we can create the rubrics, and then we can either select a past creation or create a creation. So if I select that one, say pass, great. And I will create a creation. This one is not a good creation. It's not good. Done. So, and then this is a calibration. So when we start the course, the student will need to evaluate three pieces of content. And if they know what was pass and failed, or you can also have different type of breaks, then they will calibrate the understanding of the student. So if the student get it, everything, that means he had achieved the competency and he knows, so he's ready for the course. If he did not, then professor can create a group activity with some student who has not achieved the competency and then help them to catch up on their learning. So it's quite complex in terms of technology, but pretty easy to use. Most professors already have kind of like complex curriculum, so then that will help them to put in place what they desire. But that's a side conversation. My main conversation is how to develop high quality activity and course materials based on what the professor needs. So it will have a title, it will have objective, it will have instruction, what kind of file needs to be there, what kind of notes need to be provided during the evaluation stage, what kind of rubrics need to be developed. So if I edit the rubrics, like what will be there to make sure that the quality is quality content, and then how many evaluation. We recommend 3 to 5 based on the literature, but so this is why I'm looking for to have a quality matter certificate to enhance first to get started the rubrics, and then second how to create a quality content for the course, and then lastly, what I would like to share is there is a lot of professors using the platform already. We have like 50, more than 50,000 professors, more than like I think around 500 professors who have more than 500 professors using the platform, around 200 universities in North America, and above 60,000 students. So I want to kind of like evaluate those courses and then give a score in terms of quality matter. And then if the quality matter of those courses is pretty low, then I want to talk to those professors and say, hey, I think you might want to consider using the quality matter, and me who hopefully I could be certified as a PM reviewer or master. I have not started my career as a quality matter, so I cannot talk yet about it. But hopefully, I will get familiar with the topic and I will be become an expert. And my goal is to make sure that I can be a good guide for professor to design high quality courses. Thanks so much for listening. I am hoping to hear back from you. I felt that having a small video would have been easier to explain because by email is quite tough to convey message. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope hearing from you soon. And then hopefully I can get started by learning about quality matter. Take care, and then see you soon.